It looks like we are here and live. If you wouldn't mind dropping me a yes in the chat, that would be great. So that I know that it's actually working. And then I'm going to get this going. All right. Hope everybody's having a good day out there. Perfect. Thank you, Autumn. Thank you, Kelly, T Zoom, Lisa. Yay. All right. Give me 2 seconds. Let me hit another button. Okay. I think we're good. Woohoo! Welcome in officially. So here we are, already moving through March. It's going to be the end of the year before we know it. And I know some people hate hearing that, but literally, yeah, it's going so fast. Does anybody else feel like time is just zooming? Yeah. Say hello in the chat if you're joining here. Um, it's fun to connect with everybody. Yay. Do me a quick favor. Something fun with emojis. Drop the flag of your country that you live in the chat. Drop the flag of the emoji. Some of these flags I'm not going to have any idea where they're at. Hello everybody on Instagram. Hello everybody on YouTube. So if you've got a flag of your country, there we go. We've got one on Instagram. Let's see if we got any over on YouTube. Everybody's jumping in and saying hello. Oh, did Jupiter just go direct? Oh, hallelujah. Hallelujah. It has been retrograde. Jupiter's been retrograde in the sign of Cancer. It's still in Cancer, but it's not retrograde, I guess, anymore. Um, but oh my gosh, I tell ya, I do not like, just for the record, I do not like Jupiter retrograde in the second house. Don't like it. So it sounds like it's going direct now. So yeah, we should all be feeling a little bit more jazzier. Maybe a little bit more hopeful, a little bit more abundant. But Cancer is a sign of home, emotions, the moon. So Jupiter in that area of the home, we could be feeling more expansive with our houses, our families. Yeah, that's always a good thing, right? So a lot of comments coming in about um, Jupiter retrograde in Cancer and where everybody's got Cancer out in their chart. So some people know their charts. If you know your chart, tell me what house you have Cancer in. I'm curious because yeah, Jupiter retrograde has not been that much fun. But here we are. So welcome in. It looks like we've got some American flags. We've got a flag with a skull and bones on it. I don't know which country that is, but oh, it's a pirate flag. Okay. So if you missed it, if you're just jumping in, drop an emoji of the flag of the country that you live in. The flag. Yeah. And then also tell me what time it is where you live. Tell me what time it is. So where I'm at, it's 5:35 p.m. So where are you tuning in from? What time is it? I'm curious. I'm always having to do fun time configurations. Like when I've got a meeting and they're like, "Oh yeah, I'm in Sydney, Australia." I'm like, "Oh, I got to figure that one out." But yeah. Okay, so we've got a couple of East Coast US, we've got a Central Time. Okay, so far we've got East Coast and Central winning. New York, baby. Oh, 8:30 p.m. where you're at and you're in your pajamas. The country of California is 5:35. You guys are funny tonight. You guys are funny. I like this. I like this. Yeah, so as Heather is sharing, it's 6:30 in Boise, Idaho. So fun fact, did you know that Boise, you have the north half of the state is in one time zone and the other half of the state is in another time zone. So that's always fun. Vegas, baby. I love all these babies. New York, baby. Vegas, baby. I love that. I love that. Let's see what our friends on Instagram are saying. Oh my gosh, 11:35 a.m. in Australia. Got some East Coasters. Welcome in. Wow. All right, East Coast, I think, for the win so far. So yeah. So we're gonna have some fun um during this live stream. It's an opportunity for all of us to get together and connect. And I called it Let's Talk About It because I didn't have a better title. I just felt like I needed to get on here and try to put out a positive ripple into the world. So that's really what I'm going for in this live stream is I want to give I want to put some goodness out into the world. So that's my intention tonight because we all know that there's a million things that we could be distressed about. And so I would rather lend some light to this. So we're going to do a couple things. I'm going to go over that here in a moment. Unrelated to anything, Autumn says, but I love your curvy bookshelf. Oh, so Instagram can't see my curvy bookshelf, but YouTube can. Yeah, it's fun. And it was a pain in the neck to put together and put it together twice because the first time it did not work out. Let's see if I can move the Instagram folks so they can see it. There's the curvy bookshelf. Um, so then after putting it together twice, realized there was a part missing. So that bookshelf is like, don't blow too hard on it. It looks cute. It looks cute in the background. Um, yeah. So keep the comments coming. Keep the conversation coming. I love it. I'm going to keep an eye on both YouTube and Instagram because I've got a couple things that will be questions that I'll be asking you. And I would love your thoughts. I want you to share what you're going through. So, what I'm going to do is channel a message from the universe of like what the universe wants us to hear today. I have not sat down and written out any notes for it. It's going to be a verbal channeling. So, we'll see what spirit wants to bring through. I am going to ask you, like I said, a couple questions along the way. I'm going to, in a bit, pull a few collective cards, Oracle, and I'll do one tarot just to see what comes up for the energy and what spirit is suggesting for us. So, channeling, few cards, inspiration. We're going to do a really quick grounding together because I think it's going to help us to all slow down and feel better in our bodies, better in our minds and in our hearts. So I'm going to walk you through a really quick grounding that we're going to do. What else did I wrote out an itinerary for us just so I wouldn't forget anything. Let's see. Oh, and then I'm going to give you a journaling prompt too. I'm going to send you home with a journaling prompt as well. So, many of you who've been following my work for a while, you know that I've been making predictions for over a decade. And as a psychic medium, as a fifth generation, I get a lot of downloads. I see clairvoyantly, I hear words and phrases, I feel things in my physical body. I have all the primary psychic gifts, which is amazing. Uh, the world obviously has been really heavy, and anyone that's been following my work for a while knows I've been predicting the stuff that's happening now. I've been predicting for a while. And I've also been predicting that it will get more intense. It will get heavier, but I want you to hear from me, from my mouth to your ears tonight. I want you to know that even when the world is looking and feeling like it's collapsing, when we look to the news stories or social media, or we look to, what's unfolding in the world, the headlines, I think it's going to start looking even crazier than what it looks like right now. But why I say that to you is Spirit has been very, very clear that what the world shows us in these big headlines, that it doesn't have to be the experience of our own individual life. I have said so many times, I feel like a broken record, but your intuition is literally your superpower. So instead of going into fear over things that we cannot control, I would encourage each and every one of us to try to lean into more love, more faith, and recognize within each of ourselves that our intuition could quite literally save our lives. And I know that sounds really dramatic, but I do think that we are going to have more instances where all over the world there will be, it feels like energetically, more violence, more war, more chaos. And your intuition may just be that subtle nudge inside of yourself that says, how about you don't go over to that thing today? What if instead you went into the forest and took a walk, as an example? So then naturally, a lot of people ask me, well, how do you know if it is your intuition or if it's anxiousness, if it's anxiety? So if it's anxiousness, usually feels like an urgency, or it feels like even a grittiness to the energy. If it's anxiousness, it usually feels loud. Your intuition, on the other hand, typically will feel subtle, quiet, kind, compassionate. So if you're wondering, like, oh, I feel like I shouldn't go to that event tonight, sit with yourself and like really ask yourself, is this my anxiousness, or is this my intuition? Because if you really sit with it and you ask yourself that question, you'll understand long enough. Like if you sit there long enough, you'll understand if it really is anxiousness. You'll feel it. Like you'll feel like there's something about it that is grating, like a cheese grater. It's like grating on your energy. Okay. So if you're sitting there asking yourself, like, should I go to this event? Something just doesn't feels off about it. And you're really getting curious and you keep your mind and your heart open about it, you'll notice if it just kind of feels off versus creating like a feeling of pressure in your body somewhere. So, like I said, anxiousness often feels loud and urgent. Intuition may feel like a nagging sensation that you carry around with you like throughout the day. Or you start getting ready to go out to the event and you're like, something about this just doesn't quite sit right. So if there isn't anything that you can identify as a fear or something that is creating anxiousness inside of you about going to the event, then it could be your intuition. Hopefully that makes sense. But let me know if you've got a question about anything I just said in the comments. And yeah, and Andrea shares a good comment over on YouTube saying, I feel like intuition feels very matter of fact out of nowhere. Like it just kind of drops in. So, something that just drops in out of nowhere that's unexpected absolutely can be intuition. It's called claircognizance, where it just drops in. So, yeah, pay attention if it's like something that comes into your awareness that you weren't even thinking about. Yeah, good point. Good point. Oh, and I have a question here about my cat. Yeah, Frankie. She was just sitting outside the door a moment ago, waiting and watching. Um, She's doing a lot better, thank you for asking. She had, or has some kind of neurological issue that sent us down a rabbit hole, uh, not too long ago. But yeah. Yeah, so MC is saying over on, YouTube, intuition is a nudge in our heart or our solar plexus. Yes. So where do you feel your intuition? Let me know in the comments. Ah, yes. So Autumn sharing, I feel like anxiety makes it harder to hear anything else, but intuition is just there. Yeah, intuition just feels like the subtle, like knowingness. Yeah. Leon saying, focus on your inner world. That's where the balance is. Yes, I love that. I love that. So there's a question over here on Instagram that I actually have gotten fairly often. So I'm going to bring it up. And I am not shaming the person who asked this question because it is a valid question. So the question is, when will everything get better in the world? So people that watch the shows I do with Scott Tajirian, where we do the astrology stuff, you may have heard us answer this question before. And if you followed a lot of what Scott has said, you will know the answer to this. So if anybody wants to put the answer in the chat, when will everything in the world get better? So the simple answer is it gets better when you get better. I'll explain this a little bit. You have control over what you feel about yourself and you feel about life. You can't control most of what's happening in the world, right? Every single moment of every single day, we could find something that is ugly or challenging or catastrophic. Like we could find something every day. But if we decide that we are going to see the world through a lens that we create, that is one of noticing the silver linings, noticing where you can have more grace for other people, noticing where you can bring peace into the room you're standing in, choosing to see other people in a way that is kind, forgiving. And we're going to be challenged with this because it's going to get noisier. It's going to get rough and tumbly, are the words that are coming to me. And so when it gets rough and tumbly, it can be really easy to find the ugliness in the world and in other people. Or we can choose to find the things that we want to focus on. And it's not about ignoring everything else, but it's about choosing what you're going to focus on. Because Earth School, I don't think is nirvana. I don't think we came here to experience heaven. Our home, the other side where we come from, like that's where we do have all of the goodness. But here, we come here because, frankly, of how challenging it actually is. And I know that sounds absolutely ludicrous, but I really feel like we came here because is an advanced classroom. This is like getting your PhD. This is like living 10 lifetimes in one. So I think reframing the question or reframing how we see the world will bring you a better world. Yeah. I hope that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. Beth is saying, I feel intuition in my heart. Anxiety doesn't make me feel good. It's tense. Yeah. Yeah. Linda's saying there's always a war, sleeper cells, or some event going on. It gets better when we choose to respond by focusing on what is going right, what brings us peace, and what is in our control. Yes. Ah, so there's this comment when my mom had cancer, they told her to watch things that make her laugh. I feel like it's the same thing we have to find good and joy. Yeah. Ah, and Constance, yeah, that talking about the book Power of Ted. I absolutely love that book. It's one of my favorite books of all time. The Power of Ted about relationship dynamics and the energy between people. Yeah. Ooh. So keep the comments coming in. So I'm going to channel here in just a moment, just opening it up and see what spirit wants us to hear. I feel like I've already kind of been channeling based on what you've all been commenting and saying. So before I channel, type into the chat one word. I just want one word, but what thing about your life has like been on your mind all the time? Like what is one thing about life, one word, one thing that you've been concerned about or been top of mind, or maybe you've noticed now since we've been talking about anxiousness that maybe you've been feeling some anxiousness about it. So let me know. What are you feeling anxious about? I'm seeing family, I'm seeing money, health, harmony, child, purpose, health, sister, retirement, transition, uncertainty, employment, job security, stability. Oh, this is a great question. Are there any optimistic words for those living inside the unstable war situation? Ooh, I feel like I want to ask that as part of the channeling. Yeah, thank you for asking that question. Ooh. So yeah, put your word in and then you can either keep your eyes open and look at me. I'm probably going to have mine closed. Um But that's up to you if you want to have your eyes open or closed. And if anybody wants to also answer that question in the chat, if you were speaking directly to somebody who was inside one of these countries right now that was hit by war, ongoing war, what would you say to them? If you had that opportunity to say something to them, what would you say? So if you want to take that as a question and sit with that for a moment as I start channeling, I'd love to hear those thoughts in the comments. Okay, invite in the highest frequency, dimension, and light to begin channeling through me. And only that of the highest frequency, dimension, and light is invited to come forward through me for this channeling. Spirit, I would like to channel a message around what would you like us, everybody viewing this, listening in, what would you like us to know as we sit here in this present moment with everything unfolding around us? What do you want us to know? What do you want us to remember? Each and every being on the planet has a flame of light inside of them. There is a flame of light activated and lit under your heart chakra. You may even feel it as you put your hand below your chest. There is a flame lit of the universe, divinity, creator. You may have heard before that you carry the spark of the universe inside of you. You do. Many have forgotten that. Your planet is plagued by rage, by fear, by lonesomeness, by isolation, by misunderstanding. There are many shouting now across the world, shouting at no one, shouting at everyone, shouting at anyone that will listen. There are many that feel unseen, unheard, many that feel forgotten, that they don't matter. We ask that you return to the light within you, that spark of divinity. You can grow that light bigger inside of you. You can grow it to extend all around you. This light is an invitation to go deeper into yourself, and an invitation to connect with the hearts of others. You aren't meant to live in silos. Humans are not meant to live alone with no one to be around or with. there is an epidemic of loneliness and feeling misunderstood. But the light you have inside of you is the same light that your neighbor has inside of them, and the same light that people in other countries have inside of them. You are more alike than you are different. You want similar things for your daily life, but yet humans feel more separated than ever. It often appears that humans are walking by each other without connecting, more like people acting as ghosts. We encourage each of you listening to not only remember the light inside of yourself, but remember how it is in everyone else as well. Aim to understand what someone else is going through. Try not to make assumptions. Try to speak with kindness and words of acceptance. Remember to breathe. Many of you are holding on to your breath. Your breath is shorter, small grasps of air. Breathe more deeply. As you breathe in deeply, set the intention that you want to be here, that you are anchoring into the earth. With each breath, you anchor in deeper. When you think of people in other areas or countries that may be going through harder times than you are, activate your flame inside of yourself. Feel it burning hotter, feeling deep love inside of yourself. And then see your flame of light going into those other parts of the world, sending that light into the streets, into shelters, into bombed buildings. Sending that light wherever you feel it is needed. You are loved. More that can be expressed, more love through words, through physical contact, like eye contact, hugging someone, saying hello. If you feel like you've been too isolated, create the intention in your heart to connect with more people, even strangers, by looking at them, speaking to them, remembering that you are all in this together. Each person's journey is different because each soul set up its own unique plan on the other side before incarnating. You are living your plan. They are living their plan. Many of you have lived all types of lifetimes, played all types of roles. We've all been the good person and the bad person. It's the duality of Earth. Coming here was no easy feat, but you signed up because you were ready. You will be reminded of all of the layers you selected once you get back to the other side and go through your life review process. In the meantime, be kind to yourself, be kind to your neighbor, and be kind to people you've never met before. Your kindness matters more so than ever before. Thank you. Whew. Just give me a second. Come back in. Whew. I feel like we should go into that grounding now. Okay. Whew. Since I'm already half out of my body, we might as well ground. So I'm going to take you through a quick grounding. What we're going to do is literally very, very, very simple. If you feel comfortable, you can put one hand up to your chest. And we're going to just take long, like really long, slow, deep breaths. And we're going to do them let's try it for like a minute or two. Let's see. I'll hear from spirit when it's good. But if you're seated in a chair, I'd put your feet on the floor, uncross your feet, uncross your legs. If you are laying down, I would set the intention that your hips or your tailbone is connected down to the earth. But you don't have to physically like be on the earth. You're just setting the intention. But I do like to have feet and legs uncrossed. And then one hand on your chest. You can do both if you want. And then when you're ready, you can just close your eyes. Relax your body, relax your shoulders down away from your ears. Relax your face, relax your tongue. Feel your arms and your legs relax, your fingers and your toes, your belly. Just take one big deep breath and let all the stress and tension out of your body. What we're going to do is breathe in long, deep slow through your nose. And then you're going to try to make your exhale out of your mouth the same in length. So breathing in through the nose, long, deep, and slow. And then out of the mouth, same. Just keep repeating that. And you might find that the inhale and the exhale don't quite match yet with length, but we'll get there. So let's breathe, letting it all go. And just follow your own rhythm. Breathing in through the nose, breathing nice and long and slow. And slowly letting it all go. And as we're doing these long, slow breaths, you feel the energy of your body relax even more. And you feel yourself connected to the earth. You feel yourself cradled and protected. You know that you are loved. Going back to your long, slow, deep breaths, keep them going. And as you're breathing in, begin to feel the energy of peace, of relaxation. And then exhaling any energetic debris that no longer serves you, or any feelings that you want to let go of and release. So breathing in relaxation and peace, and breathing out anything you wish to release. Feeling yourself connected to earth, feeling anchored to earth. Set an intention in your heart of something that you're asking the universe, asking Creator for. You can say it silently or aloud. And know that that intention is heard and received. And feel that confirmation of it being heard and received in your heart. And we'll do 3 breaths together, breathing in through the nose, letting it out of the mouth. And one more. And then you can open your eyes and slowly bring yourself back in. Coming back, coming back into the room. Hmm. Beautiful. Beautiful. Whew, I want to go into some of these comments as we're all coming back into the space again. I'd asked before we went into that simple grounding meditation and before I did the channeling, what would you say to someone that is in one of the war torn areas? What would you say to them? And there are some really beautiful comments. I'm just going to share a few of them. Better Possibility says, have faith. We are here for you. I'm seeing everything is temporary. Sending love. You are safe. You are loved. I love you. Erica's saying, can I help you in any way? Heather's saying, we are sending light and love. Veronica saying, you matter. And Linda's saying, how can I best help you right now? And Annette is sharing about love and justice. We are one, Beth is saying. I am sorry. We are light. We are love. You are love, loved, beloved. From Kim. Ooh, yeah. And that's also sharing that spirit is asking us to be more creative and that creativity will counter the destructive energy. So, how can we be more creative? How can we be more creative? I think that's a great question for all of us to sit with because creativity doesn't necessarily mean art or dance, but what could you create? What could you create? Whew. Kelly is saying, let me help you. Beautiful. Nagel's saying, keep the faith. So many words of love and beauty. So thank you for sharing those. So let's shift into what is something that you can control in your own life? Because there's a lot of things we can't control. So name one thing in the comments that you can control. What can you control in your own life? I know it's kind of a tougher one, right? When we think about this. Yes. Um, is it Gajapriya is saying thoughts? Kritima is saying destiny. Becky is saying attitude. T Zoom, reaction versus action. Jake is saying faith. Kelly is time. Fari is saying our reaction. Yeah, and Neats is saying how we react. Bailey is saying connection with loved ones. Matt saying your vibration. Keem Bomb is saying how you respond. Deb saying responding to others and situations. Simon says hello. Observation. Alicia saying how clean my house is. It really does help me take my power back. I wonder if you've got some Virgo going on in your chart. It's coming from another person that's got a lot of Virgo in their chart, but I get it, is what I'm saying. Okay. Ah, yes. A lot of people saying how I react. Andrea is saying you can control what you put out into the world like kindness. Yes, emotions, outlook, choices link into faith. Better Possibilities is saying I have 100% control on how I respond to everything. Thoughts become things. Yes. Great reminders and ideas because I think sometimes, if you're anything like me, when I do catch a crazy news story or there's something catastrophic that's happened or an act of violence that has happened, I can go into that place of fear. But with so many people reminding me and so many others tonight about reaction, we get to control our reaction. Just like we were talking about earlier when somebody just asked a really great question about when is the world going to get better? Our reaction and our thoughts create that better, that better life, that better outlook. And so I think it's a good ask of all of us really to consider the next time when we are angry about something or we feel like something is just spiraling out of control. And sometimes we make up these stories in our heads about what that means. We assign meaning to it. We assign a story to the fear. We assign a story to what this could all mean, what could happen next. And I think we can all go back just into that breath and into that grounding, just feeling our own breath and feeling our feet on the floor. And to stop the fear stories or the fear spiraling when we start going in that direction. Sometimes I'll say to myself, do I really believe that? Like if I've made a judgment about something or if I feel afraid about something, I may just ask myself, do I still think that? Do I believe that? Because the stories can get so spun out of control in our own minds. And that can be part of that anxiousness. And I think remembering that all we have is this present moment can also just bring us back into this moment and help us to step out of a fear spiral. Because if we are too much in the past or we're thinking too much about the future and what we're afraid of with whatever the things we could list off, then we're probably spiraling in the future or in the past. Because when we are in the present moment, that's when I've found through my experience that we can allow ourselves to really be like set free from our own minds, set free from our own stories, and just live and breathe in this present moment. So if you find yourself getting worked up, consider asking yourself, am I living in the future? Am I living in the past? Because you're probably putting a lot of the energy in the future or the past instead of the present moment. And if you just close your eyes and take some deep breaths and say, I'm bringing myself back into this moment and what I can do in this moment, I think you'll find that you'll walk through life with a lot more peace. A lot more peace. Yeah, Pamela's sharing. She likes listening to music, and that it's a helpful meditation for her. So I love listening to soft music at night. And I'll journal as I do it, and I write down a few things I'm grateful for from the day. I agree, music is a total vibe shift. Absolutely. Okay, I think I've just got a couple more quick things that I wanted to do. I'm going to pull a couple tarot or one tarot and a couple oracle and just see what the universe wants us to know and for us to keep in mind. So, as I'm shuffling cards, I would love to know in the comments what is one thing in your life right now that is a blessing or something in your life that is a silver lining. So let's just flood the comments with one thing that you are grateful for in your life right now. What is one thing you are grateful for? I'm grateful my cat is showing healthier signs after a big issue that I had with her. So I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful I got to go sit and have chicken teriyaki with my mom for lunch today. I'm thankful I have breath in my lungs. I'm grateful that I can do anything I want to do. I have freedom of choice. I'm grateful for the snowflakes today. I'm grateful for those gray clouds up in the sky. I'm grateful that my other cat, Frazier, absolutely loves the grass I grew for him so he could chew on it instead of chewing all of my houseplants. And I mean all of it. Oh, okay. So you keep those, listing those, and I'm going to pull a tarot card first. Yay! I love all of these comments. Beautiful. Hmm. So, Spirit, what is the theme card for right now? What do we need to be reminded of? You brought through a beautiful channeling that I was able to accept and speak aloud. And so, if there is a card that can be a representation of a message that you want us to hear, please bring it forward. Anyone that's been around me long enough, when I pull a card and I'm like, haha, there's usually a reason for it. But this one's a good reminder. So, like I said a few times during this, we can find the really, really bad headlines out there. We can find the stories from people that will break your heart open. And frankly, I think some of the people that have the hardest lives are the most advanced souls, and that they come here and have different things that happen as a part of the blueprint for their life because they want to learn that much more. And so when I think about people that have gone through, whether it's in my country or another country, and I just happen to hear their story that just makes me cry and breaks me open, I often think of them fondly as really advanced souls. And by them going through what they have been through, then they offer an opportunity for us to learn from them and their stories. So even when you see something really horrible that's happened or unfolding in the world right now, this card reminds us that the sun will always come back out, that the darkness, yes, is always followed by the dawn. So the card that we got is the sun. The sun. You've got this little person on the horse. The sun is shining. It's a major arcana card. No matter what happens, everything, all of it, the good, the bad, everything in between, it is all temporary. It is all temporary. But I believe in every dark tunnel that we find ourselves in, there's always a light at the end of that tunnel. Just keep going. Whew, this one is from the deck, The Four Agreements. So I talk about the book, The Four Agreements, quite a bit. They made a deck with cards. So I have not worked with these cards, but I'm very curious about which one we get. Oh, I feel like this came through in the channeling. Something about strangers and kindness and something. This card, the front of it says, be impeccable with your words. It says, speak with integrity. Say only what you mean. Avoid using the word to speak against yourself or to gossip about others. Use the power of your word in the direction of truth and love. So notice the words. And I would go a step forward further and say, notice the words you're saying out into the world and to people, but also notice the thoughts that you are saying inside of your head because they will hold power. And then I got one more card from one of my all-time favorite decks. The Surrender, the Power of Surrender deck, Judith Orloff. The Power of Surrender. I love these cards so much. I've been using them for years and years. The box is all beat up. But Spirit, what do we need to release? What do we need to let go of? What do we need to surrender and like really breathe out of our bodies and let it go? I saw that one jump. Oh, interesting. Surrender to prayer. So you could replace the word prayer with intention, but this is like you connecting with a higher power or even that flame that they were talking about in the channeling. So connecting with yourself, connecting with creator. It says, give yourself over completely to prayer. When you pray from your heart, you will be heard throughout the universe and answers and support will arrive. It reminds me of something also I've heard several times in channelings is that even when you think you're alone, you are never alone. So when you pray, when you ask, when you intend, don't play it small with your prayers. What I mean by that is some people will say, oh, I just prayed for the small thing because that one will be easier to do. That is not how Spirit sees it. Spirit says, ask, lift it up, because the small things and the big things can be resolved. So if you find yourself scaling back what you ask for because you think you have a better shot of getting it, I would switch that. I would start praying for the really big things. So if it's world peace on your heart, go big, right? Go big. So I love those cards. They give us just a few more reminders of things to think about. I do have a journaling prompt for you. And I keep feeling this. So, yeah. So I'm listening to Spirit and hosting a live stream at the same time. I've often said over the years that Spirit asks us, are we a prisoner or a pioneer of our own life? Meaning, are we a prisoner of faith or fear? Are we a prisoner of fear? Are we a prisoner of shame? Are we a prisoner of guilt? Are we a prisoner of our rage? Like, are we living as a prisoner of our own life, or are we living as a pioneer of our own life? So, pioneer energy would be going bold, having courage, speaking with integrity, like we read on that card. So, Spirit brought that in several years ago, and they said, ask people, are you a prisoner or are you a pioneer? Because pioneers, they've got some grit. Like, it reminds me of Aries energy, actually, because Aries is the first of all zodiac signs. And it's that feeling of, I don't mind going first. I don't mind speaking up. I don't mind doing the action. Let's go for it. So, in the comments, let me know if you are a prisoner or a pioneer of your life. And as you're moving through your days and you're thinking about different situations that are unfolding and you're trying to sort through them, think about what a pioneer would do. What would a prisoner of their own fears do? Because I bet if you sat there long enough and thought about what you need clarity on, you'd say, I'm going to be a pioneer. Okay, well, then what would a pioneer do with this part of your life? What would a pioneer do with the situation that you find yourself in? So I think we're all going to be honorary pioneers. We're all going to be pioneers. So if it's helpful, put that on a piece of paper, put it on a sticky note, put it in your bathroom, on your mirror, put it somewhere where you're going to remember that I am a pioneer. I am a pioneer. Yeah. As Andrea is saying, I used to be a prisoner and now I'm a happy pioneer. I love that. I love that. Okay, so I promised you a journaling prompt in case you want to sit with this and consider it. And I really do love this question. It's something I'm definitely going to be journaling on. Um, quick mention: the if you haven't noticed, I recorded a new free gift for everybody. So if you haven't been over to the website lately, I recorded a 10-minute reset. So if you like what we did with the grounding today and the breath work, it is totally free. It's over on my website. You can go and listen to it literally right now. And there's a one-page worksheet that goes along with it if you want to use that, or just download. You can actually just download the 10-minute reset to your own device. I have it set up where you can just do it that way and listen to it whenever you need it. But that is over at spiritandspark.com. I would love for you to go grab that free gift. Um, from my heart to your heart, I really wanted to create something that could help you step into some relaxation and do it in a way that doesn't feel like it takes hours and hours and hours. So you got a 10-minute reset there and it's yours right now at spiritandspark.com. So make sure you go grab that right after we get done here. While you're there, I would love for you to check out 3 things because I'm just super pumped about them. One is the gathering room for the spring season. That's formerly known as Sacred Signals, and now it's called the Gathering Room, and we're doing it seasonally. and incredible teachers. Julie Reisler is the teacher this month as the guest teacher. I teach in the community too. Um, I've been on Julie's podcast a few times. She's a TEDx speaker. She teaches at a university. She's just like one of the coolest people. And she's our guest teacher for March. So that's the gathering room. So check that out while you're there. The Commons is me and three other teachers. That's one night. It's March 25th. And all the teachers are giving free gifts and we have raffle prizes. And it's like having four classes in one Zoom. So that's going to be a lot of fun. So that's the Commons on March 25th. I know so many of you have already registered. So thank you. It's going to be a fun night. And if you can't make it live, you do get the replay for that. And then from the blue chair, I haven't really talked much about this publicly. I'm going to keep this really short. My grandmother, who I get my gifts from, she's amazing, amazing. She's departed Earth several years ago, but she was also the postmaster of her town in Idaho. So she was in charge of running the post office. And when she wasn't running the post office, she would often sit in her blue chair at her house and write cards and letters to people. And so I've just been divinely inspired to carry on her legacy. So there's something called From the Blue Chair that launches in April. And it's going to be I'm not telling people a lot intentionally. So all I'm going to say is it is an envelope from my heart to your heart. And the first ones go out in April. So if you want to get on that list, that's on the website too. And then, yes, I did open spots for deep dives, one-on-ones with me. I know a bazillion of you have asked for them. These aren't your like typical sessions. This is a 2-hour channeling, card, light astrology, past lives if those come up, but it's 2 hours of digging through your life and like what you really are seeking clarity on. Um I have 4 spots left for March. So if you want one of those are on the website too. So take a look at all the stuff while you're there over at spiritandspark.com. Okay, the journaling prompt. Hopefully you got pen and paper. You can just listen to the replay. What is one thing you can do in the next 7 days that your future self will thank you for? What is the one thing you can do in the next 7 days that your future self will thank you for? So I want you to give that some thought. I'd love to hear what you've got in mind. And the final question, and you will not hurt my feelings, I promise. But if this was helpful for you and you would like me to do this again, can you just put yes in the comments? Just so I can get a gauge of whether this was beneficial. Because I may have had fun, but if you didn't get anything from this, so let me know in the comments. Oh, so funny. Autumn's like, are you having another one of these next week? I need to look at my calendar. I wanted to see if people enjoyed it. I wanted to see if it was well received. Yeah, I wanted to. A big yes. Okay, we're getting yeses all over the place. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, perfect. Thank you. Cool. So then I promise you, right after I hang up from this, I will um, find a new date and time that we can do this on. My suggestion is make sure that you're following the Instagram account. Make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube channel. And speaking of YouTube, Andrea, you were the one who commented the most. You were number one top fan tonight over on YouTube. Autumn was tied for number 2 with T Zoom and Beth. And then looks like we have several people in 3rd place: Victoria, MC, um, Kara, Constance, and Pamela. We're all tied for 3rd. So you're the top fans of the YouTube. So if you join me over on YouTube and you comment, it ranks you as like the top fans of the stream. So yeah. So thanks to everybody. Join me over there too. So yeah, make sure you subscribe. And if you did enjoy it, which it sounds like you did, please consider sharing this or tagging someone in this so they can come and watch it too. That would be amazing. That would be amazing. Yeah, I loved all the interaction. So yeah, we'll do it again soon. So keep an eye on Instagram and YouTube so you'll know when and where, and invite a friend. I would love that. All right. I'll see you all later. See you later.